In the early 1600s, the English Channel carried whispers of daring raids and the infamous Captain Charles Thornley, a pirate whose cunning and bravery had made the Sea Raven a legend. One foggy morning, amidst crates of stolen cargo, his crew discovered an unexpected prize, a stowaway. Eleanor Blackthorne stood defiant despite her ragged appearance, her fiery auburn hair and piercing green eyes daring anyone to question her presence. She had fled an arranged marriage to a cruel nobleman, hiding aboard the pirate ship in a desperate bid for freedom. When brought before Captain Charles, she met his amused gaze with a fiery determination that caught him off guard. "What are you running from?" he asked, leaning casually against the helm. "Freedom isn't something to run from," she replied. "It's something to fight for." Intrigued, Charles decided to keep her aboard, assigning her to menial tasks under the watchful eyes of his crew. Eleanor quickly proved herself. She patched sails, hauled water, and even assisted in reading maps, her intelligence shining through. The crew, skeptical at first, warmed to her grit and sharp wit. But it was Charles who found himself most captivated. He began to notice the way she studied the stars or the courage she displayed even in tense moments. One evening, Eleanor stumbled upon Charles reading aloud from a tattered book of sonnets. "Poetry," she teased, leaning against the mast. "Even a pirate has his secrets," he replied, closing the book with a smirk. "And I suspect you're full of them." Late-night conversations became their refuge. Eleanor spoke of her life of oppression, her dreams of exploring the world, and the fear that her freedom would always come at a cost. Charles, in turn, shared fragments of his own past and his belief that a life unbound by rules was worth any risk. Their bond was tested when the Sea Raven was ambushed by an English Navy frigate. In the chaos of cannon fire and clashing swords, Eleanor refused to cower below deck. She fought alongside the crew, saving Charles from a fatal blow with nothing but a broken plank. After the battle, amidst the cheers of victory, Charles found her. "You're fearless," he said, his voice low and filled with admiration. "And you're not as invincible as you pretend," she replied, brushing a smudge of ash from his cheek. Their laughter softened, and when Charles kissed her, it was as though the world around them disappeared. As word spread that Eleanor's former betrothed had placed a bounty on her head, Charles made a bold decision. They would leave England behind and seek freedom in the Caribbean, far from the reach of those who sought to control them. With the wind filling the sails of the Sea Raven, Charles took Eleanor's hand. "The world may call us outlaws," he said, "but I'll chart any course, so long as you're by my side." Eleanor smiled, her heart lighter than it had been in years. "Then let's chart our own destiny, Captain." And together, they sailed into the unknown, where freedom and love awaited on the open seas.